Great to have you on Richard Mwanja Exclusive. Let's talk a bit of politics and governance in Kenya with none other than Professor Herman Manyora. Prof, great to see you. How are you doing today?
Good, and you?
You're fantastic.
Wonderful.
I am well, we thank God.
Yes.
All right, Prof. Let's have a conversation about our devolved units of government. We are having this conversation at a time when Raila Odinga, ODM leader, has proposed for us to tame down on the number of counties. He says Kenya is too tiny for 47 counties. Prof, this call for referendum is gaining traction by the day. Do you also support this agenda that there's need for us to even tame our devolved units of government because they are really ballooning the government bill?
Of course, it's common sense that 47 units for a small country like Kenya, they are not viable. They are not viable politically, economically. In fact, they were an afterthought, a compromise rather. The deal was at Bomas. The argument was we needed regions modeled along the former provinces. We had 7 provinces and one extra region called Nairobi. So we had 8 provinces. So people said, let us make those provinces the regions, Majimbo, or some federal arrangement. People said, no, okay, we can make them 10. How? Rift Valley is too big. Let's divide Rift Valley into 2. And then Eastern. We have Upper Eastern and Lower Eastern. Then that argument went, oh, even Nyanza, we can put Kuria and Kisii together. Kuria, Kisii, Nyamira together and leave Siaya, Migori, Homa Bay, Kisumu together. So you see, we are moving the numbers. Then people say, okay, in that case, even Rift Valley should be divided into 3 or something like that. So the argument continued, costs. Then we ended up with maximum 14. And that looked very viable. And then when this thing was taken to Naivasha, it was bastardized. Yeah. People, first of all, feared regionalism. They feared what we call Majimbo or federalism. People, the ghosts of the 1960s came looking very ugly to some people.
And they bought
Kenya began off with Majimbo as a federal state with those regions. And then people began telling Kenyatta, wow, have you heard? More in Rift Valley is flying a flag. They are small presidents. So they scared Kenyatta. And the first onslaught on our new independence constitution was to demolish Majimbo. Of course, there had been earlier, parliamentary system into president, things like those. So these 47 are not viable. They don't make sense. What I know, it's very difficult to remove them.
That you're sure about?
Because people are clinging onto them. So again, you require some thinking. I was happy to listen to somebody talk about this recently. I don't know who that was. Was it on Spaces or something? Somebody talked about the 47 counties. And I said, here is a man who is thinking. He was saying, was it Kibuda Kibwana or something? Kibuda Kibwana or Naitule, one of those. We were on Spaces here at the bar on Sunday, the ones we do on Sundays. I said, here is a thinking person. It may not be possible for us to demolish the 47 counties. We can leave them intact, but we can create other superstructures.
How so?
We can create 14 regions, which will be economically viable. The problem will be how to navigate around political power. As far as economic power is concerned, that will not be a problem. Already there are regional blocks. So we need to tinker with those regional blocks, give them more economic muscle and autonomy, and then figure out how to remove some political power from the counties and take it to the region. And who to call the governor? Would it be the one at the region or the one at the county? So those are things you can think about. But dismantling the counties like Raila thinks will be very difficult.
It will be very difficult.
Yeah.
The accusations that devolved units of government are, of course, the bedrock of corruption continues to take shape by the day. Yeah. And even as we speak, we've seen the prosecution of former Bungoma Governor Wangamati. His counterpart, Governor Barchok, also in court, recorded statements to the EACC over what they claim are corruption charges leveled against them. And clearly, we have seen an attempt from the government to go after those embezzling public money. Prof, would you say that if indeed we continue with this trend from EACC and the government push to fight against corruption, then we can even realize 47 counties and not really cry about them not being economic viable or even being conduits for us to lose money as taxpayers?
No, you stop theft. That must be done through stringent laws and structures and what have you. But more than anything else, through quick prosecution. Arraignment, prosecution, and jailing. If we had jailed about 5 of our first governors, nobody would be stealing. County secretaries. A guy is just an innocent person, like a teacher. I like using teachers. I'm sorry for teachers. You make him a county secretary, and within 1 year, he has a house which he can't even walk in because it is too big.
A county secretary?
They are there. All these governors, I've said it many times, all of them have houses in Karen. Put them in jail. Put them in jail. So that is one, to make sure people don't loot the counties. But there's number 2, which is the fact that even if they do their best, no stealing, no theft, no corruption, good balance between capital expenditure and recurrent expenditure, the 30-70 rule is obeyed. They are still too tiny. My count of Vihiga gets below 5 billion. What can you do with 5 billion? All of it just pays salaries and runs cars.
Zero for development?
It's nothing. You can't do anything. Even if you kept your 30% rule intact. What is 30% of 5? 1.5 billion. What can you do with 1.5 billion? Anything? Nothing. What sort of development can you do with 1 billion shillings? Nothing. But if you put all those counties in Western, there are about 5 of them, if you include Trans Nzoia. If you put their budget together, then you are looking at something like 50 billion, 50, 60 billion. And their capacity to raise revenue could move to as high as 100 billion, working together. You know? Because they're even able to, the counties of Western, if you call the Western region, as a region, as a block, the governor of that region, Trans Nzoia, Bungoma, Kakamega, Vihiga, Busia, the governor of that region can even do business with DRC.
True.
With Uganda. You get it? It's a powerful economic bloc that can do business. That region is bigger than some countries in this world by population and therefore as a market. So you come out to Nalewana?
Sure.
So there's no way the counties can be viable. Absolutely none. The way they are. The way they are, no. Maybe just about 3, 4, 5. Turkana and Kwale. These are the counties of tomorrow are the counties we think are not doing well today. Huge in size, like Kwale, Turkana, Northeastern, Marsabit. Huge in, you call them poor today. In another 30 years, each of these county will be like California in America. The GDP of Marsabit will be more than the GDP of Kenya today in another 30, 40 years. Because they have potential. There's so much on the surface, in the air, and down, and in the wind.
Which we have barely scratched.
We have not even started. We don't even know it is there. Look at the wind power. Look at the solar power. Look at the mineral potential. I don't know what you say about. Look at the soil fertility in some of these areas. All you need is water. The GDP of Turkana will be more than the GDP of Kenya today in the next 50 years. So those are the only ones that can be viable, but from a potential point of view. But all these others They can't. They are not viable. Put all these counties of Mount Kenya together, or at least into 2 blocks, and see how they will be able to do business.
Fair enough, Prof.
Yes.
To this end, we've seen the pending bills menace and also the ghost workers crisis keep our counties on a reverse gear. And you as a governance analyst, Prof, how comes this giant has been too tall for us to slay?
Which one?
Pending bills and ghost workers.
How can you have ghost workers in the 21st century?
The digital era?
How? Tell me how. Make me understand. Make me understand.
Is this deliberate budgeted corruption then?
Of course. Not just corruption. It is ineptitude at its best.
Ineptitude?
It is giving people jobs who don't have the capacity for those jobs. It is the men and women we put into leadership positions without the requisite intellectual capacity for those jobs. They don't have the brains, to put it very simple, to run those ministries and those departments, those colleges and those schools. They don't have the capacity. You give somebody a job and he doesn't have the capacity for that job.
You can flush them out in a single day, the ghost workers.
I mean, in the 21st century?
But at least now we
You can even hear even government saying they are doing head count. How can you do head count in the 21st century? How? All of us have been reduced, like George Orwell said, 1984, in that novel of his. We have been reduced into numbers. What is your name?
Richard Mwenja.
Who knows you? Does anybody know Richard Mwenja? Nobody knows you as Richard Mwenja. You are known as a number. You are a statistic. Yeah. If I punch if I take your ID, that's what is known. Your telephone number, that's what is known. Your footprints are everywhere. Your biometrics, your telephone number, your ID number, your bank, that's who you are today. You are not Richard Mwenja. You have been reduced to those numbers. That's what you are. You are not Richard Mwenja. No, I'm not Manyora. I'm the many numbers I have, from my telephone number, my ID number, my NHIF number, whatever it's called these days, whatever.
Duma number, you name it.
I'm been reduced to a number and the numbers, and then my digital print, biometrics. That's what I am. I'm not Manyora. So how can you be looking for Manyora? Head count.
So going the Simbarati way is just
yes, Simbarati, watu wakae karibu na magari yao. How? That is foolish. Nobody knows Richard Mwenja in this world. People know that number of yours, the telephone number. They know your bank number, they know your ID number, they know the many things, share number, you name it, all those, that's you now.
NSSF
including your number at the university, at school, and what children now. They have been having one, it was called Names or what. Yeah. Now they have changed it to another one to be able to eat.
Oh really?
Wametoka kwa hiyo Names jingine naitwa sijui Chemis. Yani unaona hii ujinga ndogo ndogo.
Change is inevitable, Prof.
Change from Names to Chemis so that you use money to create a new system to eat, and it's doing the same job instead of improve. So, but that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making, your birth certificate, we have been reduced to numbers. And therefore there's no way you can have a ghost worker. Or you can stupidly conduct a head count and give it to a company to do it. Some what
outsource,
they outsource to do it, and give them billions to count people. How can you count people? Watu walihesabiwa wakati Joseph na Maria walienda kuhesabiwa wakati wa Augustus Caesar. You can't count people today using head count. Even census. You can't have a census, a physical census.
No need for enumerators to walk around.
What to do? What are they looking for? What are they looking for? People are known the day they are born, and they exit the day they die. You die digital. You are born digitally. You die digitally. Why would you go looking for people in the village?
We want to know how many cows Manyora
has. Which that's nonsense. They are known already. Satellite.
I wish Kenya National Bureau of Statistics could listen to this show.
There's nothing there. You can't do anything. Everything is known. There's nothing that's not known. And what you don't do, you don't know, you map out. There's this survey people are doing. Can I mic my son? What is it called? Geospatial survey.
Yeah.
Something.
Sure.
Yeah. You do that once and everything else you now do by way of a postulation. You know what? If we had this, there has not been. If we had so many livestock and there has not been an outbreak, we project that in the next 10 years we shall have so many animals. Okay?
Sure.
In the absence of, and then the world has changed, my friend. You can't go counting people like you are counting nonsense.
All right, there you have it from Professor Herman Manyora. Says we need to put in more work for devolved units of government to work, and not just work, but work for the people and to thrive at that particular case. Time now for us to wrap up this entire conversation. I leave you behind with a request to tune in to other editions on the channel with Evans Okenyi and Jadiel Kabiro.